So I want to switch gears for a second. We're going to sort of now step back from that journey. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk with you today was a conversation we had over the last couple of weeks. We talked about your relationship and how you're viewing the current coronavirus reality that we face. Your company is being impacted just like everyone else. And at the same time, my sense from having talked to many executives about how they're responding to it, your response to me felt so refreshing and different. It was like, oh, this is how his purpose shows up now. So I'd love for you to just talk us through your relationship to the realities of what this is, and how do you see how you are living your purpose right this minute in this context?
Well, to start off with, I don't believe that the world stops. The world will continue. We might morph into a different way of doing things.
Right.
But going into this, I think that you need to have an iron discipline to take care of your safety and make sure that your business continues, because that's what feeds you at the end of the day. And that iron discipline, I really mean iron discipline, you know, making sure you have all the procedures for the factories, keeping the people safe, their families safe, and all of this. But at the same time, this is a great time for taking all the opportunities in the world. Because when you look around you, if you start to look at opportunities, you don't stagnate and you don't stop, and you actually see everything that you could be doing that is going to give you a lead into the future. So I said to our company, I said to our people, and I said to all the people that I manage, I understand you're not going to be able to sell in some places. Hotels, hey, they've closed. So you can go and knock on the door 20,000 times, and if you've read Who Stole My Cheese, you'll understand what I'm saying. It won't be there, yeah? So for God's sake, don't talk to the hotels if you don't need to that are closed. Talk to the managers who are in their home, and they're going to be your next customers, yeah? So when they open, you get many more hotels to go and talk to. Use your time to make new customers, to talk how you're going to gain share with the distributors or with the people that we sell to, and how the portfolio can be even better so that we sell more or we take the space of the competition. And that's what I want everybody's energy to go into, because that's where the possibility exists. And I'm very prepared to also have a discussion about flexing the bonus system, changing the way that we actually retribute you, if that's going to make the difference for you to get paid. Now, if you look at the way that we work, we immediately started looking for opportunities. Not just that, within 3 days, we actually built a system that is a worldwide system within the systems that we have that track every single opportunity. And I can tell you, by sales guy, around the world, by brand, by geography, whatever it is, how many opportunities they're counting in. And we've started a competition to understand how it's going to go. We've been inundated with opportunities, to the point, obviously, that the CFO is now saying, hey, wait up, watch out, you know, we need to take care of cash and all of this sort of stuff. And yes, you know, we've been really suffering in some divisions because of the stuff, but the spirit is put your energy where energy counts right now. And I think, you know, that's, for me, the spirit of injecting the Epicurean force of growth. That is my purpose. And I really started from there, yeah? Now, was that a conscious thing? And I stopped to think, am I actually now going to think about my purpose to make sense of this situation? No. I think I've internalized my purpose in such a way that it kind of flows, and it allows me to be myself in a very authentic way for what I believe. Now, as it turns out, now the whole company is looking for opportunities, not just in the divisions that I manage, absolutely everywhere. We've just got the agendas for the next review meetings for the whole company. The CFO has put a special slot on opportunities, how we're going to manage them. And I think that the opportunity is also to review what we were doing before in a much more thorough way. This is not about how much more do we spend next year? Is it a delta issue? No, it's take your zero-based budgeting, look at everything you're doing, and just slash the stuff that doesn't add value and make sure you really drive the stuff that has opportunity for the future. And I think this is where I really believe there's a lot of power in what you can actually do by driving the energy of people, driving their passion towards the things that they can do. People don't like to actually be crazy about the stuff that they don't do. They sit at home, look at the video, they think they're playing Nintendo, you know, everything is bloody virtual. And what you want is you want people to actually be playing Nintendo on the things that they can really drive. And that's where I think we have a lot of energy. And you know, I've taken exactly the same approach for the crisis. I helped set up the crisis committee. I'm in the crisis committee, and continuously I'm trying to bring ideas looking forward onto the next phase of what can we do for people. We just launched 91 cards that will help everybody be mentally resilient and motivated in this moment, which is a challenging time for a lot of people. But here we are with our 91 tips that you can read and you can actually do and you can actually get a little bit of energy from, so that we help everybody be at their best, which is what we want, basically.
So when I look at the news these days, the topic of climate change and sustainability seems to be taking a hit. Everybody's been saying in the news that, you know, that's all going to get put, you know, it's going to lose 10 years or just all kinds of negative things. But when I talk to you, in your relationship to the opportunity in the moment, I feel like I'm getting a different story. So I'd love you to talk a little bit about how are you seeing the work you guys are all doing around sustainability and seeing the opportunity that you have in this moment.
When you look at the basics of why people are actually in the position we are in today with COVID, is because we live in a world in which we don't really appreciate some of the basics that we need to try and drive for the future. And sanitation and good eating and all of this stuff is part of sustainability. But if you take it into a much bigger scale, what's happening is we're getting to the point in which a mutation from nature is actually causing people to die. Now, let me tell you, climate change is going to cause many more people to die. Now, it's interesting how when it's at the back door of your house, the world economy is prepared to put trillions into their economies to actually fix the problem. But when you actually have the issue coming in 20 years, yeah, and the scientists are telling you pretty clearly that it's coming your way, people are not prepared to do anything. Now, do you see a parallel between people telling you the virus is coming your way and us saying, it's a little cold, it's no problem? Or, hey, climate change is coming and here's all this stuff. And, you know, so we can procrastinate, we can say whatever we want, but the world is going to change if we don't do something about sustainability. And with COVID, what we've also seen is that with very little change in the way that we live, we can make drastic changes in the way that carbon emissions are actually being hurtful for the environment. You saw the clarity in the canals of Venice.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to a completely different reality, the clouds of smoke around the world. And ultimately, it's our opportunity now for people to understand it much more closer to home. We can actually procrastinate, say that this is not going to happen, but it will. And I think that that gives us much more energy to continue our journey, which we have not stopped 1 second in terms of what we're doing. And you know, our company is not just committed, but we've continued to invest. We've just invested in a nursery in Brazil, so that we actually go to plant 6 million trees in Brazil. And those 6 million trees compensate for carbon in a huge way, but also help build our productivity in Brazil and the production capabilities in Brazil for Brazil. So altogether, you know, great business rationale for doing it, but great sustainability credentials behind it as well. our farm services division is continuing to help farmers in lifting them out of poverty. Our digitalization of farmers, we got half a million farmers digitalized, which is unheard of in one cocoa community around the world. So this is actually big stuff that we're trying to do with a company budget, huge ambitions. But the truth is that we get a lot of energy out of the fact that there's a lot of stakeholders who have been doing this for a long, long time, who want to be part of it, who give us money to actually continue. We are one of the very, very few private companies that are getting funding to continue doing what we're doing because of the fact that people are really believing in us. And this is something that, you know, we got to be proud of, but at the same time, it is that belief that we can make a change that really drives us.
Beautiful. No, I just think that's a powerful message. And once again, I think for me, the whole conversation that I've had with you today, as well as ongoingly always, is that because of your purpose, you see the possibility and opportunities that others don't, and then you seize on them. And that becomes the reality as opposed to the other. And I think that it just in this moment in time, it's even more important that we focus on these stories, because the other stories, for the most part, are not very compelling in any way. So, Pablo, I just want to thank you for being willing to spend some time with us today, sharing some of your insights, having us experience the gift of your purpose. And I want to thank you all for joining me and look forward to having you listen to our next podcast. Thank you.